And lastly, I just want to play this clip of the lady or person, I don't know, of admitting that they're a groomer.
Label me a groomer because I do not hate you. And I teach people to live their truths. If that's what grooming is, then I am a groomer. And I will accept that title proudly.
A groomer of love!
I am a groomer of
it's just like a groomer of love. Maybe so. Hey, what's up guys, so I'm coming here with another video. You know what? I went to a boycott rally, you know, protesting what's happening in Target, the targeting of kids here in Las Vegas. And so I kind of want to talk about it and dive into it. I don't know if I'm going to divulge a dedicated segment with all the clips, but I just kind of want to just talk about what was going on. But before we do all of that, if you're new to this channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Mitch. Hey, Mitch, all the Mitches, the call sign on. And pretty much I like talking about what I talk about. So, current events, reviews, pop culture, social political commentary. Be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe as it feeds the algorithm. So, we'll just go straight into it. So, alright, so getting into this, you know, I'll probably post, like I'm going to do this out of, you know, my screenshot. I'm just going to play the raw footage and all that stuff. Again, I don't know if I'm going to just do a dedicated, like, video with all the cuts and everything, but I'm just going to play it off my computer and then edit some of this later. But, you know, again, I went to this weekend, there was a boycott slash rally slash, you know, protest with everything that's going on with Target, right? And so pretty much I went there and it was a hot mess, and keyword hot. Like it was like 100+ degrees. I could not believe being there. At least for when I was there was two sides, right? You have the left side and then you have the right side, you know, all in there. And for the most part it was peaceful. Well, it was very peaceful, and for the most part there wasn't anything that, it was just, that's what I want to get into. Like, if anything, it was just pure tribalism. You know, you got both sides just yelling at each other type of thing when there was like communication. There's people who were talking one-on-one, and that was cool, and that's kind of what I want to get into. But for the most part, what sucks about this is, again, it was just each side being tribal and just like shouting to the other side. And again, if whether it's like a level of virtue signaling or just a level of catharsis, just releasing these emotions, right? But again, we'll go into some of the dialogue that actually happened. But like, it was just so frustrating because you have folks, and I'll just play it now. You have folks who where I get that where their anger is from and all that stuff, but it's just to the point where you can't have dialogue anymore.
So my question is, why do you guys...
Well, based off of how you started, I'm not going to answer any questions. So I hope you have a beautiful day. But I do like your shirt.
So again, like, you have just to give it a little bit more context, I know Cyrus was talking to this person here on the other side. I don't know if they're a cross-dresser or a trans person, because they were saying that they're straight and all that stuff, but they just dress as a woman. So I really wasn't too clear because I didn't have that dialogue in a sense. So I don't want to make assumptions, whatever. But the point being is, like, Cyrus was having a conversation, and we'll get into more of this. But like, again, both sides was getting pretty ugly in a sense where, you know, they're just shouting each other out, you know. Again, I understand where they're coming from, right?
What has done to you?
power of Christ compels me.
You're a perfect example by withstanding here. No one wants to see that you're gross. How disgusting is that?
So again, you have, it's the whole, like, everyone yelling at each other, right, type of thing. And so you have one side saying, and it's the louder of the groups. There are people who were fine, and they're just talking like, hey, like, let's have a conversation, all this stuff. But there were people on both sides. There was, like, you know, like the Christian fundamentalists and like, you're going to hell type of thing, like Westboro or Baptist type shit, right? And then on the other side, you have like these LGBT folks saying like God isn't real, Satan is not real, all this stuff, right? And so you just can't have these conversations just because people are not even having it, right? But like, let's dive into an actual conversation that I thought was pretty good, and I want to say, like, this person, again, this is the same person that was like saying what was going on, and I kind of want to highlight something real quick.
Guess what? Me, I'm a retired military veteran, combat veteran, disabled veteran. But let me finish. I'm out here. The reason I'm out here is because what you are protesting against is disinformation. You have been fooled. You have been fooled.
No, you're the one that's been fooled.
What do you mean? Who's touching your children?
They're after the kids.
Let's see. Let's look.
Who's they?
No, let me finish this one really quick, y'all. This is my conversation to have right now. This is my conversation to have.
I've heard he's
So, and then what sucks is like everyone wants to like dogpile into the conversation. Everyone wants to say something, and that again, it's just so problematic. And I kudos to this person, kudos to Cyrus for trying to have this conversation. I know one person was really upset with Cyrus because, you know, like, why are you even having these conversations with these people type of thing. I approach it like, and I'm somewhat on Cyrus's side in the sense where I approach this as like apologetics, right? And so in a sense where there's no point of winning an argument if you're losing a soul. You're like, if I was talking to someone who is a pro-abortionist, right? Telling them they're a murderer doesn't help the situation, you know? Whether I believe that's true or not does not help. I want to be able to come towards you with love, mercy, and compassion, but understand, like, obviously that, like, abortion is murder, but it doesn't help the situation when you're just denouncing the other person. Like, I want to be able to, one, get to the truth and get you to understand not only where we're coming from and me get understanding your side too, but like, hey, we know that the left side operates on bad information just as much as they're saying that we operate on misinformation, all this stuff, but it like what the information's out there, right? So let's continue.
Let it go.
I will engage with one person. The rest of you, I really don't.
Well, I'm trying to talk to you.
Well, I was speaking to Cyrus first. I'm going to continue to speak to him.
Cyrus is going off on tangents.
But that's his.
Okay, I'll give you a minute. Go ahead.
Let me tell you this.
It's on the kids.
Stop.
We
Stop.
We agree.
Stop. See, you continue to talk.
But we agree.
You continue to talk. You just don't know how to be quiet. You really don't. And that says a lot about your
Go
personality.
ahead.
And your intelligence level, unfortunately. That's really sad. I can tell. So the point here is no one is sexualizing children. When it comes to puberty blockers, you know who's sexualizing children?
I'll play it, but this is where I want to get at.
The last 6 months too. Let's say the last year. Who's been arrested and convicted of pedophilia? Church ministers, pastors. Guess what? People of power in your heteronormative world. How many of those have been trans? How many of them have been any member of the LGBTQIA+ community? Zero.
Zero. Right? So the argument is like all of this is coming from the heteronormative world. None of this is coming from the gay world about transing children, sexually abusing children, all this stuff. How about the one, y'all remember in January of this year, the adopted gay couple from Atlanta that was charged, so they had like they had kids. They not only they pimped them, they filmed them, they abused them, they pretty much got them like made pornographic out of their adopted children. Not happening. It's happening with these two, right? And so you can look it up. I remember this, right? And again, this was this year, right? When this came out. And so again, I'm just saying that this happens, and for the left to say like this doesn't happen, again, either they don't know what's going on or it's just out of bad information. Next one is, I kind of want to highlight this in somewhat of a dialogue conversation. It wasn't a full conversation. We just kind of like sidelined. There was arguing, and then we just had a discussion with like Jazz Jennings because they were saying like none of this like trans stuff, surgeries was happening, and so
expressed how she's kind of regretting it.
I heard, I did watch a video about her talking about the complications that she had through surgery. And I did hear her talking about her regretting it in a way that she didn't know what it was going to cost, right?
Yeah.
That's not her saying, I'm not a woman.
Sure.
Right?
And my thing is, we shouldn't.
How old is Jazz?
Well, she's like 23 now.
When did she get her surgery?
She was 16, I believe. Don't quote me. But I had to double check. I still haven't looked that up. I forgot when she actually had her surgery and all that stuff. But for the most part, we can get into it.
Surgeries.
Everyone is welcome in hell.
You're trying to legislate for like a group of
Everyone
people
is welcome in hell.
who's not as prevalent as the
So again, we're having these conversations and people are shouting at each other, and it just sucks.
So I'm a libertarian enough where I can say, as an adult, you can do whatever. But are we on the same page that?
Obviously, as a conservative, I don't agree with it. I was just more saying as a libertarian so that the person was willing. Well, I mean, there's portions of libertarianism that like do what you do, you type of thing. But I just wanted to convey to the other person like, hey, you know what? Let's get into the middle ground type of thing.
Please,
But
minors shouldn't, even with the parents' consent.
I think like 16. If you're in a state where your parents can consent to you getting married at 12, then I think you should also be able to affirm yourself. You know, do I think that a 12-year-old should go and get a double mastectomy? Or get, you know, a reversal down here or something? Because bottom surgery is never just one surgery.
Correct.
No, I don't think people under 16 or 12 in states where that's legal to get cosmetic surgery and get married, join the army. I think if that's legal in that state, affirming yourself should also be legal in that state.
Other than maybe.
so for the most part, we're just getting to the point where like, okay, so there is some middle ground here, right? This person is saying like, hey, even though it may be legal, whatever, like this shouldn't be a thing. Just as much as minors shouldn't drink, minors shouldn't smoke, minors shouldn't like have a driver's license and all this stuff. And just because it a state allows it, I think this is where the conversation was going. Even though a state allows whatever, like even they were saying like a child can get married, whatever, with parents' consent, whatever. It may not be. It should not be approved, whatever. Especially, but I mean, to their argument, they're leaning towards like more towards like 16 and up versus all of us who are saying all of these things that are people who are middle school and all that stuff, even below or even slightly in high school, like even at 14. And so my point being here and showcasing this little clip is that there is some middle ground that we can talk to, and if given the information, if we were talking about on the same page with certain things, I think there was more things that we have in common, and there was other people on the right side that was trying to convey that, like, hey, if you agree with this, then you should be on our side type of thing. And so again, I'm approaching this as like having a conversation so that we can come together and have like where we can meet in the common ground. Like again, there's gonna be a ton of things, maybe especially politically, that we'll disagree on, but like if the objective here is protecting the kids, then we're gonna need the people who is counter protesting to be on our side, right? Like hey, look at what is going on. We're not crazy. Don't gaslight us that we're saying that this is not happening when it is. To be fair, on the other side, it doesn't help when the people on our side, the people who are conservative, libertarians, whoever, the right leaning, don't have the right information and can't talk. And that speaks to me. Like if these conversations, like I'm not perfect in which I can like label out the facts right then and there, but at the very least I can have these conversations around Jazz Jennings, Chloe Cole, talking about these things, what's the detriment of what the transing the kids are, right? I understand their point is like they want to protect their side too, but like the point being is that, you know, what is actually going on, and are they actually looking at the information? If they, like, a lot of these people probably don't know. I was asking the person in the bathing suit if they follow like Blair White, if they follow like Ariel Scarlella, Dave Rubin, like Rob Smith, all these Brandon Strzok, like Scott Pressler, all of these gay people, LGBT that are speaking out against this, right? And so are you actually looking at this information, or are both yes, both sides are just being just tribal, just being with their side, right? And lastly, I just want to play this clip of the lady or person, I don't know, of admitting that they're a groomer.
Label me a groomer because I do not hate you. And I teach people to live their truth. If that's what grooming is, then I am a groomer. And I will accept that title proudly.
A groomer of love!
I am a groomer of
It's just like a groomer of love. Maybe so. You know, and here's the thing. Like, I understand what they're trying to convey. It's not good. Anyone can clip this thing and say like, you're a groomer, they're a groomer, whatever, and all this stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, again, I understand that what they're trying to convey, but it was not good. I can just tell you, like, everyone, this was already when a lot of people were already dispersed and they were just saying their stuff or whatever. And then people on their side, right? People on their side knew that I was recording, and as soon as that person said like I'm a groomer, they're like, I looked at them and they looked at me. I'm like, yo, that does not look good. I understand that in context that you're trying to convey something else, but the fact that you're saying that you're a groomer and all this stuff, again, I know that wasn't your intent, but like, even some of their people had to walk away. Like, they knew that I was recording, and they're like, oh, that does not look good for you to say that. Again, in context, like, they were trying to convey like something good out of it, but it just does not look good. So I'm just gonna wrap it up there, because that's like the crux of all the things. Again, I don't know if I want to dedicate another video with all the footage that I did, whatever, but the last thing I just want to convey, like, one, I commend the people that was actually having conversations, because I think that's how we move forward. And again, if the objective here is to protect the kids, if the objective here is to denounce what is going on, especially with like I said, the Satanist stuff, like the Satan designer, then we're gonna need to, like, I wouldn't say necessarily have allies, but we need to at least have some common ground. And we can't have common ground when we're just yelling and shouting and like berating each other, because that does not help at all. At least I don't think it does, right? And so this is not political, this is spiritual warfare, and I'll leave it to that. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me on my Instagram at HeyMitch. I'm also on Twitter, Maverick Mitch. And see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you. Eke maspero tutuo.